individual finite is ultimately reduced to a position where there is a burning of unresolved dilemma. He is confronted with a choice. He is required to make a choice on the spot, and he cannot make it. And therefore, there is a kind of an angst which remains with him. There is darkness in the world. This is what an individual ultimately finds. So you should inquire, but you ultimately come to this final point of a dilemma, unanswerable angst, anxiety. This is all that human being is. Or if some other line of thought says that ultimately the individual must accept that he must submit and find his salvation in somebody, some larger reality in which he can submerge himself. This is a Christian existentialism, which says that you should submit yourself to Christ. Or some others say that individual ultimately can find his ultimate solution only in the infinite. Submit to the infinite. But in submitting, he will not know. That's the important point. You just submit, and that is the end of your angst, your anxiety. But that you will come to know that you should not expect. You should inquire. Ultimately, you should say it can't be inquired into. Ultimately, you cannot find. Then there is a philosophy of pragmatism. What is this pragmatism? Pragmatism says that truth can never be found. You should inquire into truth, but conclusion is truth can never be found. There is no measurement by which you can measure the truth. So truth can never be found. But life demands you should make claims of truth. Without claiming truth, you can do nothing. Therefore, you should have pragmatic standards of truth. What is pragmatic standard of truth?
Utilitarian.
Truth is that which succeeds. Truth is that which can be used for success. Utilitarian. So pragmatism maintains that you should reconcile yourself with these standards of truth. Whatever succeeds is true. And what do you mean by success? That also can't be a standard. What you propose to be effected, if that is effected by the means that you propose, it can be done only if it is true. So that is pragmatism. You cannot know, ultimately you inquire, but you cannot know, refuse to inquire further. The latest is called hermeneutics. What is hermeneutics? Hermeneutics is a philosophy of interpretation. it states as follows, that all that is intellectually to be known can be inquired into if it is written down. People would say, yes, quite all right. If it is intellectual knowledge can be articulated, can be written down. So it says that all that is knowable or all that is known is articulated. So all knowledge is an articulated knowledge. Fine. Now this articulated knowledge, however, can be studied by a number of people. And the moment a number of people read what is articulated, each one will understand in his own way. How to understand a written statement requires a science by itself, so that all of us can agree. Therefore, it requires a method of interpretation. How to be sure that the one who has written such and such a thing is really what is meant by him, so that you don't misunderstand him. So you create a study by which you can determine how to interpret a text. Therefore, there has been a tremendous movement in the modern times to read the texts and to interpret the texts and to make sure that you understand properly. Now, a great effort has been made so that we all can agree that when you read a given text, we shall try to understand it all in agreement. If we all agree and study any text, first of all we shall come to know what is written, what is meant. A study of meaning by an agreed means of interpretation is what is called hermeneutics. Now when you make an effort, all this is for what? For inquiry. To understand what is the truth, this is all method of inquiry. Having done this, now today we are in a stage which is called postmodernism. We have today, according to the latest thought movement, we are called a movement of postmodernism. Modernism is over. Now we are in postmodernism. It is found that there is no standard method of interpretation. It is tried out. There is no standard method by which you can interpret. So a text means what it means to you. Fine. If it means that to you, it is that. That text means to him another thing, that means that. There is no standard meaning of any text. Every text can be understood in the way in which you want to understand, and we should be satisfied with it. Nothing more can be done. Man is the measure of all things. What you understand is right for you, but don't say it is right for me. I understand in my own way. And how can you prove that no, my understanding is wrong? How can I prove that your understanding is wrong? What you think is right for you, what I think my right for me is for me. Therefore, you cannot know. Knowledge which can be agreed upon cannot be known. And therefore we should not even try now further to know. We have come to the end of the whole inquiry. Make a study. Always you study so many texts and then come out with your interpretation. And each one can write down his own interpretation. You can debate, you can dialogue, you can enjoy the amusement of dialogue. But to believe that there is a truth and what you say is error, everything is, what you think is true. But there is no such thing as the truth. Now this is the modern climate of thought. They all profess to inquire. They all refuse to inquire. Ultimately, the answer is, truth cannot be known. Even if you make an inquiry into it, it can never be known. And you should remain satisfied with what you are. Now this movement, all these movements as you can see, is a denial of what was at one time called rationality. Therefore modern movement is called anti-rational. It is opposed to all spirituality. It is all opposed to supramentality. Even irrationality is not in the picture. Spirituality is not in the picture. Supramentality is not in the picture. So when Sri Aurobindo speaks of this, today you find this great movement, and it is being advocated in the names of great virtues of humility. You should be very humble, very modest. Why do you claim to know? To claim is to become proud. Be humble and remain modest. Don't try to go beyond your skin. Your skin is limited. How can you go beyond your skin? Skin is your limit. Let me read out to you a statement from D.P. Chattopadhyay, my very great friend. It summarizes the modern mood of human search for knowledge. He has written a book which is called Induction, Probability and Skepticism. Induction, probability and skepticism. Skepticism is a theory that you can doubt everything. Now he says, almost as a conclusion of his book, the real world and the objects in it are not revealed to us all at once. Very simple statement. We have to look here, look here, look here. If the whole world is not revealed to us at once, the real world and the objects in it are not revealed to us all at once. We know them gradually, historically, and can never be cognitively sure of their absolute certainty. The knowing self and the known are differently interlocked, interanimated, and interactive, both biologically and epistemologically. In our knowledge of the world, we do not, rather cannot, stand totally apart from it. From the evolutionary point of view, what is called survival value is in a way akin to truth value. Truth is that which survives, succeeds, pragmatic. Truth of what our organism is informed of the world around us. Situated in the world, we have to know it. In spite of our ability to transcend our situation in a limited way, we cannot totally get out of it. It is somewhat like our inability to jump out of our own skins and schemes. So this is the ultimate of all that inquiry that you can make. It requires that you should come out of your skin, and knowledge can be possible only if you can come out of your skin. Answer is, you should inquire. You can never do it. Therefore, you refuse any inquiry. Now, this is what Aurobindo, in this paragraph, he wants to emphasize. That at